mean, you had one that had curly hair, and you know she had no boobs, but was identifying as female. And then the guy, you know, he fell for her in the end. You know, whatever. He's like he made out with her, and he finally accepted her for who she is. And that's basically what I view all transgender want, you know, it's acceptance. Like, you know, a child or a dog, they'll love you, self-love, you know, they'll love you just looking at you. They don't see the, oh, that's a man. They don't judge, you feel me? And it's like, that's one thing a lot of transgender go through is that you have to be judged harshly.
So we've been hanging out. How did we kind of like hook up in that kind of a way? You know, it was just like when I transitioned, you know, which is like almost 10 years ago. You know, I thought, God, this really sucks. You know, because it's so hard at the very beginning just to be by yourself. And I thought, geez, you know, it would have been really nice if I had a big sister when I was transitioning. And so with her and I, you know, it was better. You know, we had. You know, because we're both Latina and everything, you know, and you know, I'm really pretty, and she's pretty too.
Oh, come on, I'm
and
nah. I would say it's more spiritual, because you know we're very spiritual ladies, and I don't know, it's just I guess we had that good vibe, the sisterly vibe, and first we became like best friends, and
you know, she's come over to my house a couple of times, and we just have like a little slumber party and stuff, and it was fun.
And then we have our sister talk, where we just get to talk about anything, like girl talk and stuff. So that's what we have it. We call it our sister talk.
That's right, right.
This is me on a bad hair day. Is that a beard? I was like, no! No, I'm kidding. I told him, yeah. I was like, I have a beard. I didn't shave my beard. I prefer him to know than not to know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's because I didn't shave.
Right. Well, I can't believe you. You didn't do that. You went out on a date.
I had to let him know. You know, if I
give way to let him know.
Yes, because you know, of course.
Okay.
I'm lazy at times.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck all that shit. Well, I'm
know?
like, oh, fuck all that. Okay. First of all, I'm getting sick and tired of dating all these guys, and then I have to lecture them and educate them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
How about the scenario of going to your therapist who doesn't know anything, and then you have to teach your therapist what transgender is all about, but you have to pay him at the same time. Now, is that screwed up or
that
what?
Is screwed up.
Oh, that is way screwed up.
Fucked up.
You know, it is. It really is fucked up.
Shit.
You know. Exactly, and I did that in the earlier days. Oh my God, when there was nobody that was around that had any idea. Well, what's your problem? Well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know. Well, okay, well, enough to teach me. Give me $100. Every time that I had been cross-dressing as a woman since I was 8 years old, I gave up my male privilege. You know, and you know, people think that sometimes, look at that beautiful woman and how glamorous she gets to be and this and that. But society treats women like shit for the most part, And even today's modern women, after transitioning for 10 years, I certainly don't have the depth that genetic women have, but I certainly do have an understanding and have felt the implications of that kind of self-righteous male privilege, prejudice, over somebody that is, well, she's a woman or she's a girl. Don't expect her to know anything, and I get that even from other women, It's like, because sometimes genetic women look at trans women in a way like, well, she's trans, what else could she know except how to, put her nail polish on or all she's good for is excuse the expression, sucking cock, That's all they're good for, And it's so far from the truth. It is so far from the truth. But that's the way that we are raised, in the sense of a little bit of typical prejudice, But I think that, to answer your question of male privilege, yeah, I gave it up. Do I miss it? I don't. A little bit, a little bit. I would say that I do, in the sense of getting the kind of recognition. Because we all want a sense of pride in who we are, and hey, wait a minute, I got a voice. I can say something about that. No, you're a girl. You're a woman. You don't have any voice. You have to say you're a trans woman. You don't even. We're not interested in your opinion. Just go suck some cock or something.
Make some money. Do what you're worth. I do hesitate to tell people about me being a transgender, and it's like, I will tell them eventually, but it's like at first, I'm like really, I'm hesitating. For the Gwen Araujo experience,
how did you think about the way she?
I read in the that's what I'm thinking about. Like, and what I read in the article was more like she got. He says the part where the guy felt on her genitals. They hit her with a skillet or a frying pan. They didn't know what the hell it was, but it was either or. And then she was bleeding, blood gushing down her face. And I'm thinking, God, that could have been anyone. Don't even have to be transgender. Exactly. So once she got up, and she stood by the wall, trying to catch her balance or something. Then one of the guys, I guess, he punched her and then kneed her in the face. What is it? They left a dent on the wall? No.
What she's leaving out, though, is after all of that happened, the community came to Christina to ask her if she would be a spokesperson for the Bay Area as a transgendered Latina youth, the way that Gwen Araujo was. And Christina stepped up to the plate. She went right in front of the news cameras and the press and everybody, and told them the way she felt.
A 17-year-old Newark teen was buried today the way that he lived, as a female. Police say that Eddie Araujo, a transgender, was killed by partygoers who found out that Araujo was biologically male.
He was murdered at a party earlier this month by 3 men in a fit of homophobic
More
rage.
than 700 people came to Eddie Araujo's funeral at St. Edward's Catholic Church in Newark this afternoon. They came to say goodbye to the 17-year-old boy who also went by the name Gwen.
Both Elaine and Christina are horrified about the brutal murder of 17-year-old Eddie Araujo, who identified as a girl and went by the name of Gwen. They feel they can relate in ways many people cannot.
I try to place myself again in her position. I keep picturing the blows she was receiving, the blood that she was spilling.
20-year-old Christina Sands has a very similar background to young Araujo. Both young minorities, both biologically male, and both feeling like women trapped inside men's bodies.
I just wonder, why do we have to feel like we're alienated? I'm human too, and I do bleed red blood just like everyone else. Because I didn't hear it through television. What I heard it through was a friend.
When I heard of Gwen's death, I asked myself a question. Some questions. How much more pain? How many more tears? How many more families like Gwen's?
I would also like to challenge the media. If you say that you are a journalist, why don't you fucking do some research? I don't feel ashamed about myself. I feel good about myself. I'm a wonderful human being. It's a tough life being a transgender. Probably is, because we know what it's like to have jobs taken away, and to lose all our stuff, and to just try and keep a good attitude with all that. I think you have to be a pretty amazing person.
I decided to really step up and just take care of business.
My name is Michelle Garcia. Here's a song that I wrote, and I changed the words a little bit because Gwen's death and the movement of coming together here in the city for things like this tend to really move us all in our own spirit. And this one's dedicated to Gwen and everybody here, or anyone who knows a transgendered person and has lived with that within their family. It's called Got a Reason to Live. Don't cross that line, he said, or you'll end up crying or dead. But there's just so much one can take when your whole life's at stake. With your back to the wall, but your eyes